Well, aloha from St. Louis, Missouri, the Midwest, not Hawaii. Silly dad joke to start your month of September, where Pluto is going back into Capricorn, but we're not actually going to cover that in this month. For your zodiac sign, that's actually a special that I'm doing, so shameless plug right off the bat before we even get into what is going on for your zodiac sign for Viking Rising Astrology for the month of September, all 12 signs, your sun, rising, and moon if you want it. But I am doing a special about Pluto and Capricorn. What does it mean for your zodiac sign? I'll have that link down below if you want to purchase that. It's only $8. I'm going to cover it in about an hour and a half. It might go a little long, 2 hours possibly. If you want to catch the live, it'll be 6 o'clock Central Time on Friday, I believe it is the 30th. Yeah. To get us ready for Pluto coming back into Capricorn for approximately the next 3 months, starting September 1st. This is a huge deal. This is a call to destiny. This is a call to spiritual destiny. I'm not even going to go into it's your career, just like getting by stuff or finance, because I will get to that stuff because I know everyone's going to be on different positionings of like the Capricorn ladder, because it doesn't hand out participation trophies, but I do want to say it is a call to spiritual destiny. Pluto and Neptune are doing something that they're not going to do again for the rest of our lives, at least in the zodiac signs to deal with. Rising up to a higher sense of what are you here to do in this physical reality, purpose, destiny-wise, and then also the spiritual enabling of being able to actually accomplish that. So it's actually the activation in a lot of ways that teaches us how to go deep into what did we come here to do, and then how do we get up that mountain when it seems like there's restrictions everywhere. So also my ebook is out. It costs $33 if you want to learn about your natal chart, if you want to learn about all the placements in your chart, what they mean, the houses, the zodiac signs, and even like a coaching guidance interpretation of how to like work with the energies instead of like just slapping only labels on it and being like, you're this, you're that. There's some of that in there, might be deranged a little bit, but you eat the fruit, spit out the seeds, as I say in the ebook. That link will be down below as well. And of course, if you want to get a natal chart reading or a deep dive astrology reading to see how's this current astrology impacting you specifically, those links will be down below as well. So talking about this month for September, what are we going to cover today? We're going to be covering the moon. We're going to be covering the new moon and the full moon. Womp, womp, womp. Like, I know we're not going to get into like the big transit stuff. I think we need to keep it light for everyone though, in some ways, just to keep people encouraged, because like I'm going to bring the hammer when it comes to that Pluto and Capricorn stuff. And so this is more looking at the new moon in Virgo that we're going to have to kick off the month starting September 2nd. So even if you catch this video after the 2nd, depending on when you hear it, we'll still be in a lot of that new moon Virgo energy. So how does that impact your zodiac sign, your sun, your rising, and then the full moon, which is going to be in Pisces. And it's a special full moon though, because it's a full moon lunar eclipse. We're ending the last 6 month cycle and going into a new eclipse cycle. So I'm going to be covering what it's going to be like going into that eclipse portal. So that's intense in itself. What does that mean for your sign? So best way to use this is to take some notes, really listen, just listen to what I'm saying and then go, well, where does that show up in my life? Like where practically, tangibly, detailed wise, especially new moon in Virgo, where does that show up in my life? And then take that encouragement and that guidance that I'm going to give and see how you can apply that to your life. One of the themes that is being run, if you're watching this and you're part of Gina Nicole's group, because that's what I originally launched this series for, this monthly series. She talks in her group about, basically it's like, yes, we have our spirit guides and intuition and that, but it's okay to be human too and like make choices. And so we're going to be kind of focusing on the purity of that too, of like letting go of the parts where we become too religious, zealots, with that full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces, but then also the new moon in Virgo, which deals with like more of the purification of our soul, of like just being human, and like it's okay, like we're pure no matter what, like it's okay to be human and, you know, make mistakes and learn and just get feedback and stuff like that. So here we go. Let's see, am I missing anything? I feel like I'm missing something, but you know, we're just gonna roll into it and see what we get. So as always, we start off with Aries. And so Aries, this is your 6th house, where this new moon in Virgo is going to be. So this is all about your health, your day-to-day life, your schedule. So there's a renewal like in these places, right? So for any place, simply put, that you've been struggling like with your health, with stress levels, with like how to like get stuff done, this is the opportunity to like renew those intentions and get really crystal clear, you know. And even if like you can't see it really clearly, because I know what's weird is like it's a new moon, but then it's at the end of eclipse cycle. It's almost like you got to kind of look at the stuff that feels like the dirt in your life. Like, what's the dirtiest parts of your life? What's the thing that's stressing you out the most and feels like just like dirt when you think about it? It's like dirt, but it's like dirt in your head, like in between the ears. And then clean that out, spiritually speaking. And I think a lot of the purification and how to clean that out is actually going to come on September 17th with that full moon lunar eclipse that lands in your 12th house of being with God, being with the divine, surrender, letting go. There are money implications, you know, to this full moon too. So I think it's like letting go of any place that you become too religious in your thinking about, you know, anything, your self-worth, your money, the partnerships, like either high or low, like whether you think you're too good for a situation or like you're not enough. Like, it's really more about how do you like land in like the perfect waters of things by just getting really clear this month and going, you know, what's the dirt? What are my values? And stick to that. Like, I want to keep it simple for you, Aries, you know, that when you go into this full moon lunar eclipse, it's like, yes, we're wiping away the last 6 months. So it's like, yeah, if some partnerships or some money situations or something that you invested a lot of effort into project-wise isn't like working out, you'll know it. It's okay. Like, the good news is that eclipses sweep things out no matter what. Like, even if you tried to ignore it, which you could try to suppress it with it being your 12th house, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend suppressing issues around self-worth, around money, around projects, you know, money stuff. And so like you start the cleanup of like it's like start the vacuuming, start organize your life with this new moon that's on the 2nd, and make sure that, you know, because it reminds me in the tarot of like and I can actually draw a card for you guys, like for all signs, but the fish cup, the Page of Cups, where it's like the fish drops in the cup and it's just like random. It's like clean your life up and then you start to let fresh energy in. That is the best way I know how to summarize this for you, Aries. So let's see what you got card wise. Like blowing on, like I'm blowing on dice. I've been using this deck for a lot of online psychic readings lately. It's really interesting serving the general public. A lot of people ask about, is my ex coming back? Which is kind of a Mercury retrograde thing, but at least that's over now. So Aries, you got the Lovers card reverse. Interesting. So this is a card that actually, believe it or not, does deal a lot with values. Like, I know it's the Lovers card, but it's also like they come together when the card is upright, when their values match. But it's like when it's reversed, that's the medicine, where it's like breakup energy, values not matching. So it's like, yeah, do you need to let someone go? Do you need to break up with a group of people, a project, a situation, you know, where the values aren't aligning? It's okay. It's okay to clean your house and get clear on what that is, Aries. So if you want to find out this big call to your mission, destiny is with Pluto and Capricorn that's coming for the next 3 months, you can click on that link down below, Pluto and Capricorn, for all 12 signs. It's a special that I'm doing. You can check that out. So when it comes to Taurus, well, Taurus, this new moon that is on September 2nd in Virgo is your 5th house. This is a big deal. Oof, I feel this one for myself. I'm a Taurus rising. This is a purification of the heart. This is about you getting back to your original innocence, especially because on the 17th, the full moon, lunar eclipse in Pisces, and your 11th, dealing with people. This is purifying like any stuff that you've had around people. You've been dealing with trust issues for years. This could be a time, you know, with that full moon where you need to disconnect from people, but it's also about connecting to the right people. But it's almost like you got to purify your heart and your heart's intention, but also because Virgo is your 5th house, it's like you need to link your mind to it too. You need the analytics of it, like, because you already, you know, like as a Taurus, right? Like it's physical love, and so there's a tangibility to it. So you want love, the feeling, you know, that you know, passion, but you want it to be tangible and physical too. So this is a really, really good new moon, Taurus. Like if you've been bouncing all over the place with different ideas and projects, as I think Pluto that's been going through Aquarius this year has been doing for you in your 10th house, that it's more about you getting more solid in like the system and the web of the understanding, and that it's you at the center feeling like $1 million in quality, and that not just $1 million in the tangible physical manifestation, but also subconsciously too. Like you really need to check in with your heart. Like when you're thinking about manifesting something on this new moon, which I do recommend, and some of it can be a carryover of stuff you've already been doing, which is good. Some of it you're probably gonna have to maybe let go of, especially if the right people haven't been coming in when it comes to that full moon. But it's like you gotta get really freaking clear and like tune the dials to like make sure that like you've got the emotional fulfillment that matches the thing, to tap into that heart, that frequency that's going to matter supremely for you, Taurus. Yeah, like don't carry, it's like reminds me of math too, because new moon and it's Virgo, right? It's like don't carry the remainder over if it feels like shit too. Like you're a Taurus, like the bull, that's like the saying, like I don't want bullshit comes from, right? Like fuck that bullshit, you know. And you might have to do that with these new and full moons, you know, a little bit of like being a little tough, a little like analytical, not super emotional, because you're, you know, 11th house, it's like an Aquarius energy. It's like you just kind of, just like peace, you disconnect. So whether this is like an ex or, you know, someone you've disconnected from already, or just groups of people. But I think you gotta remember, Taurus, you need people to do whatever it is you want to manifest. And so what are the right people? What are the right groups, tribes that you need to connect to? I think you need to get really clear on what that community is and like let spirit drop that in. And I think I like is that, you know, you're going to see the people that are meant to get shown out and the people that are meant to come in with it being a full moon lunar eclipse. It's going to be shown. You'll know it, especially by early October when the solar eclipse rolls around. That's going to be in Libra. So, you know, relationships, and that is your, oh, why am I drawing a blank here? Your 6th house, you know, so like people that can actually come into your reality. So bring the love, Taurus, like, you know, purity, inner child, bring all of your ideas, you know, your heart's wants to the table and get really clear and build a system. And don't, it's not about trying to control it either. It's about just, you know, being ease and graceful and like getting the map. And like I would definitely do a vision board or like a pyramid, you know, of like what's most important to you, your values. Like keep it simple. Don't be the crazy guy putting rubber bands and tacks all over the map, because that will sting a little bit more on the full moon on the 11th. Like you don't want to overcomplicate it. You just want to keep it clean, and you need to be really clear with the details of what you're communicating to the universe that you want. So that means you got to watch all your mind, your thoughts, right? Like your feelings, your emotions. Like you really got to clean this shit up and be the person that's performing 24/7. And that might seem like, holy shit, what does that mean? Well, it means you got to be the best, Taurus. You got to be the best. Digging this. horoscope so far, Taurus. For everyone, both you and Aries so far. So card-wise, I got the King of Cups in the reversal position. So this is I think this is the carry the remainder part. Like, you gotta let go of the stuff that doesn't feel emotionally fulfilling, especially on the masculine front. Like, maybe it was something you manifested and the cup spilled out. This is the card when it's upright, where it's a slow moving forward. It's a gradual moving forward of emotional fulfillment, but reverse, it's kind of like, are you actually moving forward with what is emotionally fulfilling? That's what this whole cycle of these, this new and full moon lunar eclipse is like teaching you. Like, you got to get discernment on like what that is, and also not rush it either, like with just your mind or something. The emotional fulfillment part, really important, Taurus. Like, you don't want to use the new moon right before this lunar eclipse, an eclipse season, for bullcrap. I mean, yeah, there's going to be a new moon that comes in Libra, but this is about you getting ready and picking up the pieces for the next 6 months and dealing with a lot deeper things, such as Pluto in Capricorn, which, by the way, I'm doing that special that is Pluto in Capricorn for all 12 sun signs. If you want to get that, it's $8. There's a special that I'm doing this Friday. You can click on that link down below. So, well, when it comes to Gemini, this new moon that's happening on September 2nd, that's in Virgo, this is in your 4th house. So this is your family. We'll keep it at that for now. It's your family. It's purification in the family life. Probably some changes happening in the home life. Could feel a little bit, whoa, this is a lot to process emotionally. Your home, your foundation, right? But one of my best practical recommendations is anything that's feeling stuck emotionally or mentally, it's stress. Do some feng shui stuff around the house, move some energy, burn some sage, open the windows, burn some Palo Santo, write, love letters and put them in certain areas in the home. Like, feng shui is really good. If you don't know feng shui, you can do your own research and find some stuff out. Or I do feng shui stuff if people ask me for it. It's been a while, but you can always ask me. That's something you want to do. But it's one of those things where these changes, I feel like they've been a long time coming, and it's meant to get you purified in your foundation. That way, when this full moon rolls around, that's in your 10th house on the 17th, that's a lunar eclipse in Pisces, that it's dealing with your career, it's dealing with your long term. So it's like, what are the changes that you need to make in your foundation so that whatever stuff that needs to go, needs to shift, needs to change, when it comes to that, career situation, that you're clear on it. There are money, people implications to this, like, big time. And I actually see this being a really good thing, kind of like people really start to see you and appreciate you for your efforts and your value of like what you've been putting out. And so I don't want you to stress over anything you need to make home life wise, because, in some ways, you might even be the Gemini, because your Gemini deals with your environment, that you're cleaning up your home, not just for you, but even for, maybe it's inviting people over, maybe it's doing things that bring joy in the home life, but it's also like connected to the career, like having gatherings that feel more career related. But I think you're in a good position to make these changes. You're the Geminis already, so it's your Mercury ruled, and so make your best choices based upon connecting the mental and emotional realms of things. And then the career thing's going to shift on its own. Like, God's opening up a new chapter for you, which I'm really excited about career-wise. Like, I hope this is like a raise of some sort, a promotion, just something, even if it feels little. New people coming in, maybe other people going out, but it's definitely a status career piece. So I like it, Gemini. I would just stay pensive and curious about anything that feels stressful in your life, and especially with that new moon, and then on the 17th with that lunar eclipse in Pisces, it's going to be, you know, you just not looking back. You just don't need to look back. If there's any thing that feels like it's, you know, there's a challenge and it's still not working itself out, or, you know, you feel like you didn't meet a goal of some sort, it's okay. You just let it go, Gemini. So, you know, and trust, you know, if there's a financial implication of things, that just use what you got to make it happen, especially if you feel the calling from the divine that you need to do something more big and public in your career sector. You might even feel like connected to destiny. It's interesting, you know, I'm wondering too, like, you know, how much of this is a release dealing with your family situation where you've got to go and show up to bigger things, and just like trust that the roots are going to work themselves out, and that you just make those changes to the best of your ability. So let's see what you got card-wise, Gemini. Man, lots of reversals today. So there's, you know, there is a rite of passage going on, but there's some resistance to it. I feel like, Gemini, you're getting hung up like on some really big like macro details. It feels like financial related or relationship related. The divine's going to show you how this story arc is going to go. That's all I'm going to say. Like, you got anything you're stressed out about, resources, money, people, situations, like God's got a story arc in mind for you. Don't freak out. So, well, Cancers, well, before we move on from that, Gemini, if you do want to learn about Pluto and Capricorn, what that means for your sign, I'm doing a special on that this Friday. You can catch the live 6 p.m. Central Time, but if not, you can catch the recording. That link is down below. It's $8. Huge implications for all signs, Pluto and Capricorn, call to destiny, spiritual destiny. You can check that out, Gemini. Now we'll move on to Cancers. So Cancer, this new moon that is on September 2nd, this new moon in Virgo, is in your third house, your mindset. So let's just like keep it straightforward. What are you focused on, Cancer? It's really easy. You have a schedule. Let's keep it real easy so that it can still be in the flow, so that the macro piece, right? Because your 9th house, where the full moon lunar eclipse will be on the 17th, is dealing with the bigger picture. There's a beginning and middle and end to your day. And what are you focused on throughout the day? Like, keep it simple. Like, I would be thinking like power list stuff, like what are the top 5 things that are going to win the day, you know? And then what's the theme of that? Are you more focused on your mental health, your physical health? Are you more focused on like work that day? Like, understand what the theme of the day is, so that your mind's not like switching too many like gears, like going too many different fucking directions and stressing you out. And have a theme for the day, and then center most of your top 5, maybe 8, whatever things around that. And also just, you know, when in doubt of like what to focus on, what you want to accomplish, remember who you are. You know, what's your ideal self, you know, because the mind does its things, but, you know, sometimes we got to tell the mind, shut the fuck up. Like, this is who I am. We focus on this stuff, right? So who are you showing up as, Cancer? You know, really important. And so, you know, if you're having like a lull too, like throughout the day, and you feel like you get stressed, like maybe it's like the afternoon, or you hit like a dip in your energy or something, that's the big thing to pay attention to too, which is like when your energy gets low, keep the bigger picture in mind, call in spirit, like to lift you up, to show you what shift that you need to make. I think that's going to be your pick-me-up with that full moon lunar eclipse on the 17th. What belief, what, you know, bigger idea, what bigger change do you need to make at the moments where you feel like you're maybe going to get off track with your behaviors and your day-to-day life of things. And also too, like having a solid spiritual belief system that's really compassionate and empathetic, that even if you're not perfect, that you slip, that you don't spend too much time like cleaning it. It's like, don't be like Cinderella scrubbing like the same spot, trying to get it pure white, spotless, and like crying, and then like you know, just get everything else like cleaned in your life, because there's a lot of cleaning to do for you, believe it or not, and it's all over the place. It's your emotions, it's your relationships, it's money. It's like because you're going to be processing a lot with that lunar eclipse, and there's a lot that needs to shift and go. And the divine's going to show you, but you can't be your own worst enemy and resist that shit either. That you're going to tank, you know, the positivity of where your life can go because you're trying to fight for dominion of steering the ship of where you want it to go. When, trust me, like, remember, like lunar eclipses, like eclipse season, like, you know, the universe escorts stuff out and it brings new stuff in. So actually, hallelujah for anything that you haven't been able to figure out. You know, don't be trying to control that stuff. Let the good stuff come in. And, you know too that we won't finish eclipse season with the solar eclipse that will come in Libra, which won't be till October. So I'm not covering that this month because we're sticking to September, but let's pull a card for you, Cancer. And by the way, if you want to know about Pluto and Capricorn, what that means for your sign, I'm doing a special on that this Friday. If you want to catch the live, it's $8. I sent out the recording for people. If they aren't able to make the live, or even if you do make the live, I'll still send the recording, but you can sign up with that link. Big spiritual call to destiny, Cancer. I'll talk about what that means for you specifically. So, card-wise, Cancers. Shuffle again because it's kind of caught. Cancer, what you got card-wise? Everyone's getting reversals today. This is so interesting. I mean, it is a shifty month of new and full moon lunar energy. So you got the reversal of the Four of Cups. So this is the card where it's like God, spirit, your spirit guide, like handing you another cup to try to give you some nourishment to like keep going. And it's like you've already been given like answers, right? But in the reversal position, my hope is that you're getting out of this shit, you know, that you kind of just like start to get a little bit busier and like clean your life up and like don't keep asking questions. Is this the right thing to do? Is this okay? Like I'm going to read this as a positive for you and encourage you to do that, where it's just like, hey, you're intuitive enough, Cancer, you're a water sign, just get busy, make the shifts, make the changes, do your daily work, and you don't need to ask so many questions. This is more about a moving forward energy, because you almost want to get as close to the nucleus as you can of like receivership that I feel is like coming for you this next 6-month eclipse cycle, that clean up any areas that block you from like receiving what you're worth. Because, you know, the lunar eclipse too is like hitting on, do you have a big enough belief to receive your worth, the money, the relationships that can come in. You know, it's also going to be showing you, where you need to either probably expand more, like especially celestially, like your vision for your life of like where you want it to go to. So it's more, not so much about asking questions. It's like, fix circumstances in your life that you know need to shift, but also base it upon a way bigger vision, you know, of like where things can go. And, you know, stay joyful, treat your inner child. You know, maybe even children need to be a part of your vision in some weird way, Cancer. So, yeah. When it comes to Leos, you got loud. My dog's like, what? She's a Leo dog, believe it or not. She's a rescue. Her name's Martha May. Everyone say hello to Martha May. This new moon on the 2nd of September in Virgo is in your 2nd house. Money, cha-ching. But it's more than that. I think it's more than that. It's a lot. It's because it's, you know, it's Virgo energy. It's your 2nd house. So it's like you got a lot of different little things to look at. Yeah, it's your money. It's your self-worth. It's your projects. It's your skill set. It's your talents. And then how does it all fit together? What's the perfect system that's going to fit it all together? There isn't one. That's the point. The point is for you to actually see that when that full moon lunar eclipse rolls around on September 17th, it's in your 8th house, that it's like what feels sexy to you, what gives you drive and passion and intimacy. And it's like, yes, I want this, you know? And it's sort of like in a weird way, like, you don't need to have the perfect value system like Leo that's like all pure and pristine and white and, you know, looking like the perfect white witch or perfect white wizard, you know, especially if people have been expecting that of you. I think if anything, it's like this full moon lunar eclipse kind of is like a purge, like fuck the haters, like I'm putting up my energetic boundaries, 8th house, like we're not doing this no more. I'm going to show up as my most potent version. I'm going to bring my Thor's hammer, and you either like it or you don't, you know. The divine God's going to be showing you where you need to kind of step more into your power to actually like earn your keep and get like what you deserve, like self-worth monetary wise. And I think it's just about, you know, knowing that your values it's twofold, right? It's like you have your values, but it's like you can't base it upon like just other people's expectations and just like the perfect nature of it. Because you're a Leo, you're here to shine and be intense anyway. And so with it being an 8th house energy with Pisces, it's like there's nothing too taboo for you really. It's like, I know you can go really, you might go way too far sometimes, and I get that, and you might have to check those places like within yourself to go, if anything, it's like, whoa, okay, I'm going way out there, but does that fit my value systems? But it's like your value systems, it feels like it defines you, it defines your intensity, it defines your tenacity, it defines the things that you came here to do and execute, you know, and be okay with like being human. And part of being human as a Leo, as you know, is like is shining to other people and like not, you know, dealing with nitpicking people, like be this, be that, or you're this, or you're that, and you like get like weird feedback, and it's just like people getting triggered by your light. You shine bright, right? So it's like, you know, even if you got to feel like you have a moment of like Jesus in the temple flipping over the gambling tables, you know, because it is 8th house energy. It's like, you know, if there's something that's in your temple, like Leo, just don't do it. Don't settle for it. Like, put up those strong boundaries, you know, don't put up with bullshit, and keep things honest and pure of just what's based upon your own values. So if you want to find out what Pluto in Capricorn means for you, I'm doing a special on Friday the 30th. It's at 6 o'clock Central Time. It'll be about an hour and a half. It's only $8. So I'm going to go deep into the spiritual destiny aspect of what that means for you, Leo, and the other 11 signs. And so if you got a different rising sign, it'll be that too. So you can check that out. Let's see what you got card wise for your month. Well, Leo, you know, I want to say the positive is every sign so far has had a lot of medicine with their tarot card. You're no different. You did get a card finally upright, but it's the card that is the 5 of Pentacles. It's the card where people so stuck in their plight that they're just plowing forward and they miss the temple. They miss the divine sanctuary that they could have, and they're just like stuck in their poverty. And so this definitely connects that Pluto and Capricorn that's coming for you, or you for it, you know. But it's like, I think you're gonna have to slow down your reality a little bit, like Leo, because the 2nd house, new moon, Virgo, is all about slow effort, trot, good consistency. And then the 8th house is like where that lunar eclipse is at, Pisces, is like, whoa, okay, yes, go intense, but like don't lose like your footing emotionally, don't lose your solid base, you know, by going too far into like some intense nature. And the divine's like, whoa, like I had a cup of Gatorade for you, and then but then you had some thirst, and then you went like this because you weren't paying attention, and then you like took a drink from the devil's cup. So what I want to say too, Leo, is like, don't go making deals with the devil. Like, don't get lured into some like lucrative thing. I really don't think you will, but I feel like there's going to be some snake in the garden type thing this month trying to like lure you. And it's almost like that's what they're maybe looking at in this card, instead of being like, well, why are we fucking with the snake in the rain? You know, this is like, it feels like a hailstorm. It's painful. Like, let's go take a break with the divine and meditate for a moment and just like get clear on like, okay, what are my values? cool, because like it's always during the storms that we need to know our values to not pull us off our path. So good luck, Leo. You got this. When it comes to Virgos, well, new moon in Virgo, that's about you. September 2nd, new moon in Virgo. This is in your first house of your identity. It's pretty simple, Virgo. It's a renewal in yourself. It's about knowing yourself, the ins and outs, like the good, the bad, the ugly, the imperfect, the perfect. I don't want you to be... It's interesting with this Virgo energy. There was a show called Scrubs. This comedy back in the day, not that long ago, maybe like 2010, something like that. And they worked in the hospital. It was like this funny sitcom. There was a random Michael J. Fox episode where, you know, poor guy had already had Parkinson's in real life, and he was just like cleansing his arms over and over again and his hands, like after surgery, and like he had this like OCD thing about purification and cleanliness. I don't want you to be like that, Virgo. Like, you're good, you're clean, you're fine. Like, I know you can sometimes be like really critical of yourself, but like you are, like the Virgo is the virgin. I want to remind you of that. You're virgin, like as in purity. Like, let's not make it sexual. It's just like, it's your purity. Like, harvest like the best of yourself, which is just all of you. Just show up in your strength and your strongest nature. And then when on the 17th, when the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces rolls around to kick off eclipse season, this is dealing with relationships, but also especially harmony in life, I think is a big thing to focus on. So it's like, God's gonna hopefully show you, if you're, you know, not getting too much in your head and thinking about yourself, but also seeing like, oh wait, there's this relationship or this disharmonious situation that's getting pulled from my life. Cool, I'll just like let it go. It's almost like such a weird fucked up analogy, but a tornado blows through and you're holding like your pet cat, but your pet cat's an asshole and it's been scratching and clawing and biting you and like borderline giving you like rabies or something, and you're like, but I love it. And it's like, just let the tornado take it. Like, let the randomness of the divine take something out of your life that maybe you felt like has been giving you some type of peace or connection, you know, but actually it's like hasn't been like kind back to you, because you deserve that kindness, Virgo. And so it's definitely relationships, like dealing with like, you know, is the quality actually there? If there's any emptiness around like you feeling fulfilled or self-worth or just having enough, like I think you just got to step out of that, Virgo, and see like for anything that feels like it's missing in life, like it's a blank slate to reestablish like who you are with this new moon. So like, where do you want to go? What do you want? Let go of the things that are not you and just start with a blank slate and don't worry about anything that feels like it's missing. I think that's the biggest mantra for you, Virgos. Like, focus on who you are and like what is working and what you're going to do to like work things out and put a death to anything that's like giving you lethargy, anything that feels draining. Like, those are the things that got to go. That pet cat fucking with you. And just love yourself, you know, Virgo. Like, it's a good critical time for you to prepare for these eclipses that are coming that, you know, is going to help you find out more about what you're here to do this next 6 months, like kind of rising up into a little bit more mature version of yourself. But you got to start with just the basics of, you know, who are you? What do you want? Renewing that. I feel like you've, you know what that is, but maybe that you've been a little too critical too, and you need to figure out how to be easier on yourself about how to go about that. So let's see what you got card-wise. If you got the Page of Wands, well, Virgo, made it all the way to the end of the early seasons of spring and summer and finally got a good card pull. I mean, none of the prior ones are bad, but you finally got an upright card. So it's Page of Wands. This literally is you in the deck. This literally is like the Virgo card. It's like you're the page, like it's communication, it's like quickness, it's wand, it's passion, it's intensity. So that's what it is, Virgo. It's like, be youthful. What's your passion? What do you want to go for? Keep it simple like that. And if you want to learn about bigger stuff like Pluto and Capricorn, spiritual destiny, like showing up, being the hard ass that knows how to like get through these tough times that are coming ahead. Pluto and Capricorn for all 12 signs, including you, Virgo. It's $8 as the special I'm doing. You can click on that link down below. If you can't make the live that I'm doing, it's got all the information there. You'll get the recording, but I think it's worth your time, Virgo, because it's going to be, honestly, it's the biggest puzzle piece to this whole month for you. You know, the full moon and lunar eclipse are big, but Pluto and Capricorn's bigger. So, well, we're on to Libras. Libras, this new moon in Virgo this month is on September 2nd. So this Virgo energy, it's hitting you in your 12th house. God, the divine. I feel this is going to be good for you, Libra. I feel like you deserve this, you know, that you've been working on releasing a lot. This is a deep renewal in yourself of your faith to God, the divine. You know, if you've been like working on figuring things out like in life and there's things have been like chaotic, like it's okay, like this is the time to surrender. It's a good time to let go. It's basically a good time to like have a big, not big, but like a spiritual vision of like, keep it simple, don't complicate it, get too crazy, but like what are the top 3 things you want in life, manifestation vision wise, like, okay, I want this relationship, I want this money thing, and then the third one, like, if you really know what it is, put it out there, or be like, hey God, like show me what that thing is that you want to come in, because you want to leave a lot of space and room to not get like too smashing. Like it's like, don't be trying to like run a supercomputer with your brain of like, I want this and this and this, and like, you know, smashing particles together, because then like you're pulling the energy away from the divine, and that you might be inviting in some dark stuff, you know, on accident, because it's like, so it's 12th house, so it's like, you know, it's very neutral with it being Virgo, right? So you'll get whatever you call in. So it's like, don't be afraid to like, don't stress about, you know, what you do want to call in. You definitely want to harvest something, but it's like, just keep your thoughts pure, keep your prayers pure, your manifestations pure, and just be like, hey God, like I'm good. I don't need the lesson. I want like the pure spiritual divine thing that's gonna like lift me up. And would say especially be of service. Like that's probably honestly the third one. If I had to pick something like with your vision wise, Virgo, excuse me, Libra, as I'm kicking the camera around, you definitely want to see like where you can be of service with this new moon. You're seeing all my camera shit going on. And then when it comes to the full moon lunar eclipse on September 17th, 6th house, I really feel like this is your blunders, like letting go of like your blunders, your mistakes, where you feel like you haven't been perfect. I would just keep it as simple as that, Libra. Like, I think I feel for you, as long as you just don't think about it too much, like it just will roll. It's like rolling off the tongue, you know, like saying the sweetest words ever, just like the divine, like tongue scraping, anything that you said to people, or any thoughts that you have, or any behaviors or things that you've done in your reality that didn't feel pure or divine. It's just like letting it go. Like God comes in with lunar eclipse and just is like, poof, it's okay, you know. Ask your fairy godmother for that help to make it, you know, easy. You know, I don't know why it reminds me of like, it's so weird that this keeps coming up, but like, I was thinking about when I had, because it's 6th and 12th house energy, right? So it's like dealing with a lot with health stuff anyway. And it's like, for you, Libra, where like I had surgery, and then, but like when I was like getting ready for it, I felt really uncomfortable, and I was like, hey, I don't feel good. And it was like, oh, let me give you something for that. It was like the needle in my arm or whatever, and it produced this cooling sensation. I was like, oh, it took the edge off. So it's like, don't be afraid to ask your spirit guides to take the edge off and not make things stressful for these transitions, because they're actually really positive for you, Libra. So think of it like this, like you're in a shifting period, you're in a collider period, you're in a, you know, the mixology of like the bartender, like shaking things up for you. But it's like, you can ask like, hey, not so much ice or more salt or whatever. You get to pick the details of it, but I wouldn't, don't try to like take over and like jump behind the bar is what I'm trying to say. This is a big like letting go of control for you, Libra. Just cast, the simple things that you want to come into your life, and I think it'll be good. If you want to learn about the biggest piece, like honestly, it's probably 80-90% though of like what's going to really probably connect for you this month, Libra. I'm doing a special Pluto coming back into Capricorn for all 12 signs, so you can learn about that. Cost $8. I'm doing it on Friday at 6 Central Time, about an hour and a half. If you can't make it, I'll send out the recording, which I'll send the recording out anyway, but that link is down below this video. Let's see what you got card-wise, Libranator. You even got the Libra card. Look at that, Justice. I think this has actually been the sweetest, horoscope so far, Libra. Like I felt like it's you got the one that's the best, believe it or not, the less painful one. The Justice card, the scales, right? Justice scales, that's literally Libra. Like you can't make this stuff up. Like of all the cards in the deck, I don't know, it's like 52 tarot cards, I think, something like that. Like you literally drew your card. So like, it's roses, it's good. This is about balancing out, right? This is about being diplomatic. This is about being seated and poised and solid. You know what I mean? Like the pillars are there for like support, like you're in a good position. I think people can start to come to you and ask you to like for advice and weigh things out. So it's like, I think this is a time of you like getting back on top too, people seeing you like as like the justice authority type figure. So that's a good thing, Libra. Keep it up. Well, when it comes to Scorpio, party like a Scorpio party, because Scorpio party don't stop, or does it? I don't know. Scorpios, y'all are intense. You're ruled by Pluto, Mars. Like that's intense emotional life force energy. But September 2nd, new moon, Virgo, your 11th house people. So I think this is a lot about purification around the people that you're around. Like you need to keep your own nose clean, number one. It's like, don't be like disconnecting in situations. It's not actually gonna, you gotta like really assess and like see the higher picture and use your intuition and use like your spiritual connection, but also like your mind that stays open to not just like be a yes man to stuff and be like, well, wait, is this gonna stress me out? Or wait, am I gonna have to do more work over here? Like if I go do this thing, like you don't want to like create more crazy messes than like what it's like worth to you. The positive would be like, oh, like I got an invitation like for this thing, and actually it's gonna help purify me and make me feel better. Because I hate to say it, Scorpio, but it's like, with how the nodes have been going through your chart, just kind of a bonus here, it's like you've been kind of stuck in some escapism for a while and getting lost in nostalgia and stuff like that. So like this is a good, moon for like helpful, supportive people around you to help you like clean up anything that needs like cleaning up for yourself, to like get you better on track like in your reality of things. And so like the people that are not stressing you out is a good thing. So it might sound weird, but it's like the people that aren't stressing you out are good, but maybe you're stressed out or resistant to them, but it's because you're not wanting to like let go of like maybe an obsessive, nostalgic like side of yourself. So it's like, lend an ear to the people that are actually trying to help your reality and your future like go better, and then when it comes to you supporting people, I think you really have to assess and go, like, have I purified myself enough to make sure that like I can be of service and help others and just do the things that I usually do in my day-to-day life, my schedule, and just, work stuff. I think you got to kind of like see the mirrors and maybe even get some feedback from like your networks of people that you're around and have those communications. I mean, like, hey, like, where am I at? Like, check in often. Like, how are people seeing you? Because I think you need I think you need that, Scorpio, to like make sure that like you're staying on track. And then the 17th of September, that full moon lunar eclipse, fifth house, you know, for Pisces. So it's your inner child. This is about you going like way deep into the memory banks, way deep, and letting go of like some of the deepest, craziest, most chaotic inner child, like things from your past in order to heal, you know. And it's going to be hard, you know, because it might leap out of nowhere, Scorpio, like where God or something feels like it's ripping a Band-Aid off of you. But I think you gotta, you know, face that stuff and not just like take the pain of it, but also go like, no, God, like I'm here. Like, how do I like rise up and, you know, get back on my feet, get that fifth house, you know, passion again, and that intensity that's spiritual, and it's a, you know, how do I live my best spiritual life? Well, I need my passion, I need my inner child to be a part of this. So like, what things are just like been poisonous? And I think you've got to be really honest. Like, honestly, Scorpio, this is a tough month for you, because there's wake-up call energies like left and right. You might feel like you got the wake-up call energy already, but like you're going to keep getting knocks and reminders from spirit like to pay attention. And so the biggest thing I think is some really deep breathing and taking breaths and go, okay, like what's the next best move? And that you almost got to like really listen deep to your gut and within you, and then your own like pure mind, and make sure you're not connecting to spiritual energies that are like distracting you. I know that might sound kind of crazy, Scorpio, but with this astrology, you got to be discerning about what you're connecting to. Let's see what you got card-wise. Well, I know it's like, I know some Scorpios that are going through this. You got the 10 of Cups reversed. That's a hard cup to get in the reversal position, because, you know, upright, this is all about the emotional fulfillment, family life, end of the rainbow. It's all beautiful and perfect. It's interesting because the rainbow even looks like the arch here in St. Louis, where I'm at. But in reverse, it's like, it's a loss, you know, it's a loss of the rainbow, it's a loss of the family, it's a loss of the emotional fulfillment. Like, oh shit, I didn't get the rainbow. And it's like, I know it sucks, Scorpio, but like right now you didn't. And I think you're going to have to spend a few months kind of like cleaning up, you know, depending on your timeline of like any position that you put yourself in. And that, you know, these eclipses are designed to wake you up. The lunar eclipse, the new moon, the new moon solar eclipse in Libra that's going to come is going to be helpful, because that's going to be resurrecting for you to have some compassion and grace. So I at least wanted to offer you that, even though that's in October. But if you want to find out what Pluto and Capricorn means for you, Scorpio, because that's a really huge deal for you, then I think can give you some substance in terms of like what's the solid foundation though for like how I navigate these changes with, you know, people that you're around listening to, the deep healing of your heart, your inner child, your passion. Pluto and Capricorn, the special that I'm doing about what it means for all 12 signs, that's going to be the big one for you. So I'm doing that Friday the 30th. If you want to catch live, it's at 6 Central Time. It costs $8, but if you can't make it, I send out the recording. I'll send it out anyway, even if you're not part of the live. So big implications, Pluto and Capricorn, spiritual destiny shit, and also just how to get through stuff and money. And speaking of, you know, like money, like you got to get your inner child on board and behaving, Scorpio, if you want to stabilize your finances and your relationships and make sense of your value systems of where things are going, so you're not staying stuck in your past. So when it comes to Sagittarius, well, Sag, the new moon in Virgo that's on September 2nd is hitting your 10th house. So this Virgo energy in your 10th house for this new moon, career expansion. I think you're probably doing okay in this area already. This is more just about refining the details of your goals. You know, keep it simple. I think you already kind of know what this is. It's just like you're tightening things up, you're getting more pure, design a schedule, a way of showing up in your behavior that feels very committed and responsible. I think too, Sag, like this is a purification energy too, of like, share all your moments too publicly, like not just the ones you think are pure and pristine, like show up like in the public eye and like actually talk about, you know, the range of different stresses and stuff that you go through, like, because you know you're Sag, you like to be seen and talk to people and share what's going on and be sociable. So this 10th house energy of status, it's like if your status is going to get like less elevated because you share some detail about your life that someone's like, you're not fucking pure, well, fuck that motherfucker, you know, like bring the raw, like you will feel so much more authenticity and probably even have more people, you know, wanting to work with you, like service career wise, if you're just like real as fuck, which I know you feel like you're that already, but it's taking it to kind of a higher level of just like being really public and pure in the essence of, yeah, this is what it is, but you know what, I put in the work, bitch, you know, like I'm a Sag. And then when it comes to that lunar eclipse in Pisces on the 17th of this September month, that's your 4th house. So life, private, home, family. I see this as a deep emotional release. It might feel weird because it might feel like the bottom's like dropping out from under you, because Pluto in Capricorn is going to be a big shift for you, which, by the way, if you want to know what that means for you and like what it means for your money, your self-worth, your skills, your projects, your relationships, you can catch that special that I'm doing. The link is down below. It only costs $8, but you know, it might feel like a trap door is opening underneath you, Sag, like, whoa, like where's my footing? Like, you know, or haven't I went through this release already, or this death already, this, you know, just this snake pit already? And it's like, well, you know, a part of your soul probably called this in to go through this again, you know. I feel like this could be like secrets getting exposed in your home life, like you got to make sure you come clean about any of that stuff, you know. And it's just not about hiding anything anymore, Sag. I mean, that's really what this is about. Is like, this is exposing all of it, all of you, career, family, just like not giving a fuck, you know, and just knowing what your values are. Like you can keep your what's going on with your money private if you want, or your relationships that, you know, are really connected to your core values. Like you can protect your family and like protect them, you know, like anything that affects other people. But when it like comes to you, like it's like being okay with exposing what's really up for you and seeing like who's really in your corner, you know, who's really meant to be solid with you going forward. Card wise, got some conflict. I think you got some relationships, got some people around you, you know, are they trying to behead you? Are they trying to get money from you? Are they, you know, is this even just your own conflict of you don't have enough harmonious, solid relationships around you and you got to like vet those out better? I think that the best way to work through this, Sag, is like expose it, and that, you know, turn a deaf ear if it's like people trying to like be in conflict. But if this is your own inner conflict, go, well, what is the stress that's causing me to feel this like chaotic and crazy? And like, well, what's the simple thing I need to do to change it? What's the simple next step? Or what's the thing I need to let go of? And just like keep doing it. And even though, especially as we get to that lunar eclipse on the 17th, it might feel like, whoa, like, gosh, like I know I'm committed to the stuff I do, but you know, what's going on here? And it's a reminder. It's like, it's 2024. You can't people please everyone. Like, you know, it's just, we're not Kansas anymore, Sag. So, you know it. So when it comes to Capricorn, Caps, I'm a Capricorn. I'll sit up straight for this one and, you know, put my suit on. But in all sincerity, Capricorn, new moon in Virgo on September 2nd. This is your 9th house. So this is your worldview. So my solar plexus hurts on this one. So I think Capricorn, you know, this is hard because when it comes to the lunar eclipse on September 17th, that's in your 3rd house, that deals with your mental health, your environment, your outlook, that lunar eclipse is a purge of anything that's just not factual at all in your life. Any like facts that you tried to like glam up, glamorize, misinformation, mental secrets, things that you hide from in your mind, like you gotta let that stuff go and just like more accept the reality of things. And so the positive is that 9th house energy of being out in the world, social, bigger picture that's on the 2nd, it's like take action, you know, design a life for yourself that feels expansive and a schedule that's like connecting you just out in the world and people, and like it makes sense. Because I think that's your biggest like lesson this month, Capricorn, is like you got to be doing the things that make sense. Pluto coming back into your sign, you know, you're already going to be dealing with a deep death, rebirth, transformation in yourself, which I'll go deeper into that for Pluto and Capricorn. For all 12 signs, you can click on that special link down below. It's a special video I'm doing. It only costs $8, but it's like position yourself in the world where you're just connected, you're getting things done. Like it still needs to make sense for like a bigger vision, even if it's just like starting with the basics of like, my needs are met, you know, the bills are paid, the money is paid, you know, I'm around people, you know, I'm in different environments. I'm not like going through the same crazy like looping environments over and over again, because your 3rd house is Pisces, where that lunar eclipse is happening. So God's going to force you out of your environments anyway. So it's like, at least like take control, you know, of getting into new like environments, like out in the world, and like just being among people and connections. And, you know, it's good conversation energy. It's good for staying like positive, you know, like keeping things like jovial and discussing like world views and beliefs and narratives and things like that. But like keeping it pure too, you know, where it's like the most pureness of like Socratic discussion, like philosophical discussion, like you're actually genuinely curious to hear what other people think. Because, you know, Capricorn, you've been going through this phase, you know, where you're having to kind of like, you're not at the top, you're not like the big, you know, Justice League hero warrior that stands on the mountain right now. You're more like, it's been way more family oriented, your emotions, your demeanor of your character, what motivates you, you know, and just taking better care of yourself. So I think one way to take better care of yourself is like the you know, nature of like sharing what you know, but also like the mutual reciprocity of like being open to other people, being like the sage, you know, wizard, guru, teacher, right? So I would definitely like focus on teaching like what you know with this new moon, and just like get really common sense like of like, what do I know? What can I teach? It can be a lot of different things, right? As long as you, this is an experiential thing though too. Like, have you walked the walk with it, right? Like talk about things and teach things and role model things that you actually like know how to walk the walk. Because you can be a great channel, you know, with Pisces as your 3rd house, right, Capricorn, but it's like, you know, things won't like start like making sense, like if you're speaking and talking and socializing and, you know, just doing things that just doesn't seem like it's even a part of like your actual experience or your reality. So it's like a keep it humble piece, Capricorn, because, and I say all this not to knock you, but because it is Pluto coming back into your sign, it's like you're learning about who you are. So it's like, you know, you almost just got to stick to the analytics in your environment, you know, and your actual experience to go, well, let me just like focus on the things, the meat and potatoes of the things that I'm at least familiar with and have experienced and can talk about, because any of your other like ideas or just like, you know, other goals that you have or career ambitions are probably more false right now. And so you don't need to go in that direction because you're going to be changing and transforming anyway. So that's like your cup of nourishment to get you through this month, Capricorn, is like, you know, and maybe, and this is weird, but it's like sometimes your first idea may not be the best one too. And like I would also check in with your ideas and go, really simple. Does this idea stress me out? Yes or no? Does it deplete me? And then if there is some stress, go, well, you know, is it like the positive stress where it's like, you know, maybe it took some energy, but it was like, I enjoyed it. Like, for example, like I'm a Capricorn, but you know, I'm an hour into this video for all the signs, and it's like, I'll probably feel the energy afterwards where like, man, I'm tired, but it's eustress. It's a positive form of stress. So let's see what you got card-wise, Caps. Boom, boom, boom. That jumped out. Well, yeah, Cappies got the Five of Cups. Five of Cups is tough because, you know, I heard another tarot reader say one time this is a card of gratitude. He flipped it to positive, which I really like, because it's like, well, 3 cups spilled, and he's like, fuck, these cups spilled, and this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. But wait, there's 5 cups, so there's 2 of them that are not spilled, right? So it's like looking more at like what's been lost, you know? I think that's the trouble, Capricorn. It's like, South Node in Libra in your 10th house, I'm sure there's been some form of lost plans, you know, maybe career, relationship stuff not working out. Pluto coming back in Capricorn is going to bring up the last 16 years in your face of maybe what you could have done or not done. But I promise you, you still have things around you. Like for me, it's like these 2 cups, they could just be like my son and my dog. And it's just like, okay, well, you know, because honestly, part of Pluto and Capricorn teaches us how to be okay, like no matter what the circuit, you know, the scoreboard like looks like. And so I think for you, Capricorn, that's why it's like, you know, maybe it was all supposed to go this way where it's like you're always going to transform. So maybe it wasn't about getting the win. You know, for Mel Gibson, it wasn't getting back to Hollywood as a Capricorn. For Tiger Woods, it wasn't about winning another Masters or PGA Tour or whatever. He hasn't won one since 2008, since Pluto came into Capricorn. So, you know, credit to my teacher, the Leo King, for sharing that. But I fucking love that it's like he talks about these famous Capricorns as examples, you know, where they're just not the poster children for the most successful looking life, and like that's okay, you know. So yeah, check out that Pluto and Capricorn special, links down below, $8. When it comes to Aquarius, well, Aquarius, this new moon that's on the 2nd in Virgo is your 8th house. So power, sex, could even be like contracts, investments, you know, like what renewal energy do you need to do to get potency back in your tank? I feel like some things are going to line up for you really nicely in your reality that not only make you feel powerful, but it's like it's a financial related thing, or you know, positivity of intimacy, contracts. I would go for all of it, honestly. Like, bring in all the good juiciness of the 8th house, Scorpio-like energy of intensity and wants and desires that you want that fit into your reality. And don't worry about it not being pure, because in the 8th house, like, it's hidden, it's more for you. Like, you don't really have to worry too much. Like, if your mind is focused on it and you get like that zing, you know, like energy, and you're like, yeah, I want to do that, you know, then go for it. And then when it comes to the full moon lunar eclipse on September 17th in Pisces, that's your 2nd house. So it's okay to like let go of like any wholesome values that maybe are actually blocking you and slowing your momentum. And you're like, no, I got to do it like an honest way, or I got to earn money this way. You know, it's like, can you do more occult stuff maybe with this new moon, and like less like, you know, oh, this is like good spiritual value stuff. It's like, get the fuck out of here. You know, it's like the lunar eclipse like purges values that actually aren't spiritual, that are actually crazy, that are keeping you stuck in the mud or not actually earning your worth, earning your keep. You know, like it's a good time for you to like get deeper into like your soul's nature of like what makes you tick. You know, this is big money stuff with this lunar eclipse and relationships, skill set stuff. Really pay attention to your intuition. It's going to be thumping loud. You know, it's going to be like, you can't stop it. Like, it's like one of the hobbits, like knocking something down the well, and then the orcs start banging their drums. It's like, oh fuck, the orcs are coming. And so you're gonna have, like, that's a metaphor for, you got to face your fears of, can you own your power and your intensity and your sexual nature of the things that you really want to be doing, or are you going to be stubborn and be like, no, I'm just going to keep doing this or that because, you know, I don't know, at least like it's normal. And it's like, you're an Aquarius, just like remember that, you know. I know Pluto is probably, hopefully been mostly good to you in your first house, you know, the transformation piece that you've been experiencing this year, but you're getting a break from that. And if you want to find out about that deep spiritual side of things for you when Pluto comes back into Capricorn, I'm doing a special horoscope for all 12 signs. So it's $8, and you click on that link down below if you want to get access to that. If you want to make the live, it's Friday the 30th at 6 p.m. Central, but also send out the recording to everyone who signs up as well. So let's see what you got card-wise. Aquarius, Aqua. I say Aqua reminds me of like that band, like Aqua, like I'm a Barbie girl. You're meant to be the exact opposite this month, Aquarius. You're not meant to be a fucking wholesome, dimwit, Barbie, second house bull that just keeps doing the same shit. You know, staying in like some psychotic loop, being like, it'll pay off eventually. I'm saving pennies. It's like, no, you gotta be bolder, Aquarius. Let's see what you got card-wise. Just kind of jumped out. Yeah, Ace of Wands, confirmation. Gotta go with the passion. You know, it's an ace card, so it's like, think of it as like that number one passion. So that way you don't get too analytical, Aquarius, and like you're really focused on like, what's that thing that you really want in the shadows, and don't worry about what other people think. Like, that's the thing to go for. And it might even scare the shit out of you, but go for that. And then you'll start to see how everything else connects to it from more of a systematic, analytical point of view. All right, finally we got Pisces. Well, Pisces, on September 2nd, this new moon in Virgo is landing in your 7th house of your relationships. And so I think you gotta like really see, like, are there conversations that you need to create more harmony with people, you know, where can you be more pure and balanced, and maybe some apologies maybe even need to happen. It could even be apologizing to people to be like, hey, I've been having a lot of thoughts about you that I think you're a dickhead. I realized I was projecting. I'm sorry. Like, it's good to be pure, Pisces, and like cleaning up your relationship house. There'll just be more harmony and more space in your mind because you're interesting, right? You have this like really empathetic, loving, I want to get along with people side, but then you have this like other creepy side where it's like you judge and you fucking nag people, you know, usually in secrecy, or you do it to yourself too, you know. So it's like, this can also be you looking in the mirror and just being like, hey, you're good, you're awesome. Like, we'll figure this out. Like, we're figuring out our life, we're figuring out our reality. Let's keep going. Let's build some confidence. Let's get that pep in our step. And then when the full moon lunar eclipse happens in your sign on the 17th, you know, it's that mirroring of going, okay, like, how do I feel about myself? Like, if you're, you know, nitpicking your own self, like, that's going to cause stress. So don't do that. You need to like be okay with like letting go of any parts of yourself that you feel is like some blemish. Like, I don't know why, Pisces, but for anything in you that feels like, well, I understand, because like this lunar eclipse is hitting Venus hard. It's like your self-worth, like you feel worthless, you know, or you might overvalue yourself from an egoic standpoint. Like, try to find the part that makes sense, that feels solid, that feels like connected, like that you're not telling stories about yourself, that you're more like, hey, I'm awesome because it could just be the basics. I'm awesome because I go to work every day. I'm awesome because I love my family. I'm awesome because, you know, I have tough conversations with people. I'm awesome just because I'm here, you know, just because I show up in life every day. There's kind of a simplicity, you know, to that lunar eclipse, Pisces, where it might feel like, in the weird way, the divine is like not giving you like the gifts of like some things that you're trying to like manifest, but it's more so him not bringing new things in yet for the eclipse, to keep it more like simple, to just be like, hey, just honor yourself, take care of yourself, take care of your relationships, you know, like almost like God's like wanting to like slide you through this next, I'll just give this as a bonus to you, Pisces, slide you through the next 3 months of Pluto and Capricorn unscathed, without, you know, you being detected and like sounding an alarm for like fear, because you're just taking care of your life, you know, because the truth is that, you know, let's see, Capricorn hits your, I'm trying to think what house that is. It's hard to spin it sometimes in my head, but it's like, it's still a spiritual call to destiny, where it's like, you know, part of it, I think, for you is going to be, you know, I hate to say it, but it's like laying low, that it's like you're meant to live to fight another day, because it's almost like the stuff that's coming the next few months, like you don't want to get too high or too low in the madness, and just like be like the one that still loves people and accepts people like where they're at, like as you're like watching the world go, whoa, you know, it's like election season and stuff, but it's also your own career life of like people that you're around. It's like, just stay poised, Pisces. It's not that you're like simping, or that you're, you know, like being like a plain Jane or shy or something. You're just more being observant, you know, and that assert yourself when the value is in you is solid, when you know, like, no, I do want to make this action, or I do want this money thing or this relationship thing. Be solid in that, but that's more of your personal life stuff, as it benefits you and benefits your closest partnerships, you know, that just makes sense for your reality. So if you want to find out more about what Pluto and Capricorn actually means for you, or I actually will tell you what the house is and actually get deeper into that, Pisces, I'm doing a special on the 30th of this month, and it's $8. It'll be about an hour and a half long. Pluto and Capricorn, all 12 signs. And if you can't make the live, and even if you do make the live, I'll send out the recording after. So yeah, let's see what you got card wise. Well, you got the Queen of Swords reversed. So I really feel like this is you needing to kind of like, it's hard because like the new moon's like you're looking at your relationships, and then you're having to look internal with the lunar eclipse very deeply. So I think spinning this as a positive. I don't think it's that you're not focused or that you're not being queen-like, you know, and like your discernment, your poise of like not getting swayed one way or the other. I think it's just more, honestly, part of this energy reminds me of a little bit of like, I'd say it, but like a Mercury retrograde hangover, where you're having to like still introspect yourself a lot, that you're just going to have to look at things from a different angle. So you could use the last 3 weeks of the Mercury retrograde that happened in Virgo and Leo as a jumping off point for the changes in your reality. But I think you're going to have to be looking at your avatar of your ideal self and how you show up in life, and especially your relationships. And just like taking that further of going, okay, well, I'm making these changes in my life, but then, you know, what changes do I need to make in myself though, so that I don't have to keep making constant changes in my outside reality because I'm stressed out, or it's like not working. And it's like, well, wait, I'm the magician, I'm the creator. Get back to like being the queen, you know, that calls the shots. So that's it. So just to wrap it up here, it's a good month, you know, for cleaning house for everybody. New moon in Virgo on the 2nd, and then the lunar eclipse that's going to release a lot on the 17th to kick off eclipse season, and then end the last 6 months of life for everybody cycle-wise. But then if you want to know about like this heavy hitter of what Pluto and Capricorn is going to be for the next 3 months, it starts September 1st. It doesn't end until November 19th. This is huge implications. Everything from just how to like move forward in life to destiny, career path, finance, structures. We'll talk about what's going on in the world, but what's hitting for all 12 sun signs. So if you want to hear about that, you can check that out. And then if you want more of like a personal thing, you want to like go and do some research into your own birth chart, I did do an ebook called Astro Tool 101 that costs $33. It breaks down the placements in your chart, teaches you how to look at your chart, how to pull it up, how to go, okay, I have sun, moon, planets, and these signs and these houses, and look at that energy, and you can process and crunch that. But then if you want to, like the expert astrologer, to like look at the natal chart with you, you want to direct from me in a private reading. That link for natal charts will be down below. But if the creme de la creme though is like if you're really wanting to know how to supercharge things, like for you personally, like your business, because I do business readings, I do relationship readings, that's going to be your deep dive astrology reading. So that deep dive astrology reading link to book will be down below as well. Happy September. Stay well out there, and just remember, Pluto and Capricorn, we're revisiting like an old haunted house. Don't give up on your future just because Pluto left Aquarius for a few months. We've got 20 years to go. So I know a lot of people are feeling in between right now. I am, a lot of other people are, but that's just the astrology. That's good. That means we're evolving because we're already sensing that. It doesn't mean that things are going to go bad. Things are not going to hell. We just have to know how to be adults and be mature and make the best of this, 3 months, and to like really come out on top, and also do it together in our businesses, our families, our communities, our values, like there's a place for everybody, status, leadership wise, on a spiritual service front, on how to show up these next 3 months, even if it's like a humble beginnings of things. Like this is the time to step up. So love you all. Good luck. See you in October.